A very, very warm good evening. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It's another Indian football discussion on a Monday night on February the 24th, 2025. And those of you who are watching now, maybe watching deferred, if you haven't, and if you like what you're seeing, what you're hearing, do leave a like behind, do leave a share behind. And and if you want to come back more regularly, do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much. There's been quite a few new subscribers over the last few days. We're at 2,252. And if you like to see more of the content, I do try and make daily videos on topics of interest. Did earlier something today on Mohun Bagan lifting the ISL League Shield. Yesterday did a couple of stories. One was on Meghalaya or Shillong potentially losing one or maybe both of the matches that they're hosting, and Ahmed Jahu, and why did his sudden departure happen at Odisha FC, and before that, of course, Shubhra Dopal being appointed director of the Indian national team. So therefore, all of that, thank you very much as always for following, for your support, and let's hope that things go, so to say, in the right direction. To start off with, of course, today is a non-ISL match day, so there is nothing to talk about in regard to the ISL. But the big news, of course, yesterday was that Mohun Bagan Supergiant played a game against Odisha FC, and it remained goalless and for most of the game, and then in injury time, Dimi Petratos with the goal, with the winner for Mohun Bagan Supergiant, and that meant that yesterday Mohun Bagan Supergiant confirmed themselves as the ISL League Shield winners. So a big result for the Mariners yesterday. Congratulations from my side on winning the ISL League Shield, defending the ISL League Shield as the first team, and also joining Mumbai City FC as the first or as the second team to win the ISL League Shield twice in the history of since we have been calculating winning the ISL League Shield now for the sixth time. So big thing. And then the focus, of course, shifts to the I-League, and there were some matches today, and in that Namdhari FC played a 1-1 draw against Churchill Brothers. Rajasthan United thrashed Real Kashmir FC 4-0, and of course a change in the points table. The Inter-Kashi loss to Namdhari has been turned around into a win for Inter-Kashi, because Namdhari played a player who was not eligible to play, so therefore a lot of changes on that. Hi Rushabh, welcome back. And the I-League title race heating up. So that means currently, let's look at currently at the I-League table. Churchill Brothers 29 points from 16 matches. Inter-Kashi 28 from 15 matches. So Inter-Kashi, match in hand, could go now to 31 and could go top of the table, because Churchill Brothers now with 3 draws in a row. Real Kashmir remain third for the moment with 26 points from 16 matches. Rajasthan United now fourth with 24 points from 16 matches. Shillong Lajong 23 from 15. Namdhari dropped down to 6th with 23 from 16. Gokulam Kerala 22 from 15. So Gokulam Kerala could also jump a few spots up. Srinidhi Deccan 19 from 15. Dempo as well 19 from 15. Sporting Club Bangalore 14 from 15. And then we get into the relegation zone. ISL FC 11 from 15, and Delhi FC 10 from 15. So that's the situation in the I-League. And if we just quickly want to go through the I-League 2 table, there we have the situation of Chanmari FC, now on 16 points from 6 matches. Diamond Harbour, 11 from 5 matches. SCT Tirur, 10 from 5 matches. United Sports, 8 from 6 matches. Niroka and Sporting Group de Goa, 7 points each from 5 matches. FC Bangalore United, 6 from 5 matches. And then in the relegation zone, we have Trau as well as Klasa, the two Manipuri clubs, on 1 point each. So an interesting one. And of course, Klasa next face Bangalore United. So therefore, an interesting scenario in that table as well. Let me know what you think, what's going to happen in the I-League and I-League 2. And but again, also, of course, the Indian women's team playing in that competition in the Pink Ladies Cup as well. Yesterday, the loss to Russia, 2-0 in Sharjah. My opinion, good result for an Indian women's team to only lose by 2 goals to the Russian sides. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, what you think, what you expect from the Indian women's team as well. And yeah, throw me your questions as always. Yeah, let's also talk about the ISL playoffs, because that's an interesting scenario which we suddenly find ourselves in. Now confirmed, Mohun Bagan Supergiant, FC Goa, and Triple FC. So that's the case because Odisha FC are on 22 points. 29 points from 22 matches, 2 to go. So they could maximally get to 35. So that means Jamshedpur are out of their range. Now the situation stands. Quickly, the ISL table: Mohun Bagan Supergiant, 52 from 22 matches, 10 points less, 42 points from 21 matches. FC Goa, so they can maximum get to 51 points. Therefore, Mohun Bagan Supergiant are the winners of the ISL League Shield. Jamshedpur FC are third with 37 points from 21 matches. Bangalore FC, after the win at Northeast United, are on 34 points from 21 matches. Northeast United, 32 points from 22 matches. Mumbai City, 32 points from 21 matches, but the much worse goal difference. Odisha FC have 29 points from 22 matches. And then we have that bunch of teams from 21 matches, 24 points. And that means winning 3 matches, these teams can theoretically can get to 33 points. So therefore, only Northeast and Mumbai City are in danger of these 3 teams, potentially, as I say. So Chennai, East Bengal, Kerala Blasters, Punjab FC. Chennai, East Bengal with -4 goals. Blasters, Punjab with -5. Hyderabad, 17 from 21 matches, and Mohun Sporting only 11 from 21. So that's the ISL League table. Can you see our players are getting informed before qualifiers? Debosh, some are, a lot aren't. And I think what kind of form they are in Indian football, does it really influence the way that we are going to play at international level? I'm not sure. And I also say, yeah, it is something of, without the foreigners, that's also always a question. Why there is no update on Churchill Brothers vs ISL FC match where Churchill coach subbed an Indian for foreigner, just like Jamshedpur FC last year against Mumbai City when Mumbai were given 3 points. RRC game, there is a disciplinary committee and there is a process that has to be followed. And only once the process is through and the disciplinary committee makes an announcement, then it will be made public and said, you know what, the mistake was made. The mistake was, of course, a foreigner got red card and an Indian was taken off and a foreigner put in his place. And let's see, even the Interkashi and Namdhari mistake, of course, of playing a player who had actually or was still suspended or should have been suspended, let's put it this way, took its time as well. Jahu didn't expect this. I don't know. What did Jahu expect? Or Odisha didn't expect this, right? So therefore, very sad thing to happen with a player to a player. But yeah, that's it. Yes, the atmosphere was crazy, just superb, says Akash. I think rankings in women's football actually show our strength as we're able to beat teams lower than us and fold against higher ranked teams. Yeah, I agree, Rushabh, that the women's ranking compares to the men's rankings is much more realistic. Just that the drop off is also quite dramatic if you look at it, right? And but again, it is much more realistic than it is in the men's game. So therefore, from that perspective, yes, I totally agree with you. It's something that one needs to observe and see how these rankings actually influence or don't actually influence the games. Do you think Mohun Bagan is pressuring other clubs to spend more on quality players? No, I don't think so, Akash. I think if I look at the amount of money that not only Mohun Bagan but other teams are spending on quality, so-called quality players, I think the question is, can you do the same business that Mohun Bagan has done? You could most probably do the business as half the money. I think that would be the interesting one. If someone comes around and is able to do that, to put a team together, a quality team together, which could challenge Mohun Bagan, then and then see what happens. But to me, spending that much of money, most of the players, you have them here in the picture next to me, most of them are overpaid, Indian or foreign. Hi Shivam, now I really feel it's better to play 10 teams together in the league and each team facing each other around 4 times. This will enhance us in terms of gameplay and just start relegation. See, Shivam, there are two things. 4 times, I don't think will be possible. I think if you play each other 3 times, that means 27 matches. I think that's realistic, and then have the ISL playoffs. And relegation, it's at the moment somehow the other not a topic, which is being discussed. I think at the moment the real topic is does the ISL have a future? I think that's a general question. I don't see them reducing the numbers at the moment, but we have a quality problem. We don't have enough good players to play a 13 or a 14 team league. Same somewhat applies also to the I-League. You don't have enough players to actually play a 12-team league over there. And interestingly, if the second division was supposed to create players that can come through the system and go higher because you've banned foreigners, I don't know how successful that program has been over the last 2 seasons. That's another question that needs to ask. What are Indian 2025 international tournaments of all age group? There was the under 17s will have AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. The U19s have a SAF tournament coming up this year. The under 23 Asian Cup qualifiers will be held. And again, the senior team will be playing also the Asian Cup qualifiers across this calendar year. So those are sort of the engagements that I know of at the moment at the back of my mind. All the top 4 in I-League are bottling matches after matches. Akash, that's the fun. Yeah. And the point here is that is then the issue of consistency that I like to speak about, right? Consistency is a big issue in Indian football, and I guess this the quality of the league or the quality of football then is proven when you are not able to be consistent with your results. That's the challenge, I think, with any team, any league. And in Indian football, I think that's the biggest challenge at the moment, to be consistent. If you're consistent, you can actually win leagues. If you are just consistent, avoid losing matches, winning most of your games, having a few draws in between, you know, yeah, that's also reality. Right, more than 15 minutes. Those of you who have joined in this Monday evening live, like and share this video that you're watching this live. 5 likes so far. I think we can do better. If you share it, more people potentially can join us in our conversations. And if you want to be kept up to date regularly on videos that I'm making, do subscribe to the channel. We are currently at 2,252 people. Thank you very much who have subscribed to the channel. And also do watch the shorter videos. Did something earlier today on Mohun Bagan lifting the ISL League Shield. Yesterday, of course, raising the question if the Shillong could lose its matches to host the India Games next month, and Ahmed Jau's sudden departure, Shubha Pal becoming director of national teams. So do have a look at those. I-League 2 is really better in terms of open gameplay rather than ISL or I-League. Shivan, because you don't have the foreigners who are controlling the game. But again, I've seen a few of these I-League 2 players who are moving up. There are exceptions. Irfan Yadwat, I think, is the big exception. So, yeah. What do you think of women's team loss to Russia 2-0? I thought they would lose 7-0 or 10-0. Dr. Hannibal Lecter, I think this Russia isn't the Russia that you would have had most probably 4 or 5 years ago. So that is, I think, also a reality. And I can't judge. I don't know if the Russians missed many chances or not. So therefore, I can't say that they missed a lot of chances and they should have scored. Therefore, take the 2-0. It's a good result for us and keep on playing. RRC Game says, do you think Mahesh deserves a national team call-up as after changing his position, moving it to mid number 10, he has done very well. They're not even Brandon and Salim up in terms of creativity. Mahesh to me is one of those players that is swimming around with those many players who are there. So therefore, for me, he should be in that 30-35 bracket. If Manolo is going to call him up into the final squad, I don't know. Akash says both Churchill brothers and Namdar AFC had many chances to make a comfortable lead, but they're failing. Now I'm not sure whether they're actually good or just lucky. I said, and I stick to it, Inter Kashi is the team that I'm backing, just because of Havas and just because of Kauko and all the other players who are there who have that level of experience. So let's see. Hi, Abhijit. Good to see you also. I am doing fine. Indian players with best present leadership skills, according to you. To me, again, the number one will be Sunil Chhetri on that list, Abhijit. Others would most probably be Sandesh Jingan, who would be good. I would most probably add Rahul Beke to that list. Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, Shubhashish Bose. I'm talking about those experienced players. Changte, I think, is trying to become a leader. Maybe he's not there where he needs to be, but he's trying. So these are the things that I see, when it comes to leadership. Last ISL season winner, Mohun Bagan Super Giant, Manolo, could happen. If I want it or not, that is, to me is something that it's an interesting scenario. I'm not sure. I hope that somehow there is a good, viable solution. But I'm not sure with no real conversations happening on that matter. I think that's a huge danger. Will India vs Maldives be cancelled? What information gave us? Manolo, I think cancellation is, I think, not on the mark. I mean, to me, I think it's a question of shifting the game somewhere else. I think that's what the AIFF, so let's see. I think cancellation is not on the cards. I think venue change is on the cards to help Maldives with the logistics and also with the Indian team. And if that is the logic, then I think Kolkata could be a place to play that friendly. I'm expecting a 2-0 loss against Bangladesh. What's your prediction? Do you think it will be an open game? Abhijit, I don't know. It's a difficult one. A difficult one to say because I think we don't know what to expect from Bangladesh. Because I don't think it will be open game. I think it will be typical Manolo controlled game. And let's see. I'm still hopeful we can win this because we need to win it. And yeah, let's see what happens. Mohun Super Giant backline is the reason why they won Shield. Yeah, 100%. It's the backline, the defensive midfield, the goalkeeper. That combo is the reason why Mohun Super Giant won the league. Why isn't no one even bothering to stream India versus Russia? They are probably the biggest opponent we've faced in a few years. Pranjal, then whoever is going to stream it needs a setup in the UAE. And I don't know, fans think it's just easy, set up something and stream. It is not that easy, right? It's quite a complex process. Super Cup is just a formality tournament for AIFF now, 10-day cup. Manolo, yes, because it's part of the licensing criteria of AIFF and for the leagues. Why cannot we play a friendly against sites like Iran, Oman, or Bahrain, or Indonesia, Australia? Akash, first of all, you asked that question also under the Maldives video, and I said very clearly that in the March window, these guys are playing World Cup qualifiers. And no one and none of these nations at the moment don't want to play us. Did you see us play against Australia or Syria in the Asian Cup? Right. Also, did you notice that Shillong pitch is very wet? Yeah, of course, Manolo, that it's still, for them, it's winter up in the hills. So therefore, it's a different kind of, again, it's not weather like it is in other parts of India. And therefore, that pitch, that ground, the air is different than elsewhere in India. I think we will draw against Bangladesh, says Akash. Okay. Tomorrow is my final exam of psychology. I came here running. I think I need to control the stimulus of opening YouTube and coming to your stream. Oh, Gaming Warriors, good to see you. All the best for your exam tomorrow. And yeah, you'll make it. Did AIFF approach UAE for streaming? Manolo, the AIFF approach UAE for streaming. Yeah, there is some broadcast partner for it. And in the AIFF, the broadcasting situation, I think around national team matches is not very clear, at least for the women's. The men's, we've seen our broadcasts, but yeah. Apart from senior national team players, best defenders, foreign creative players among the new lot. We come down to players like Isaac, Irfan Yadward, and then it becomes difficult. I think Ritik, Tiwari, Bryson, those would be amongst, those would be the ones most probably to name. Please convey a message. I have to scrap 10-day Super Cup drama and embarrassing for the nation. Akash, the tournament has to be somehow played and it will be played. Why ISL is not trying to bid for AFC Asian Cup 2031? Sort of, I don't know. It's a question to ask to the AIFF. Why would any higher ranked nation want to play against India? I think, Manolo, that's the other thing. If that people need to understand that there is no one is waiting for us to come around and say, hey, you know what? Do you want to play India? Come and play India. The Indian national team is ready to play you. We are not a hot commodity in the friendlies market, and most of these nations are playing qualifiers, so they don't have free slots like we have because we didn't reach the third round of the World Cup qualifiers. That's another reality. If AIFF try really well, they can arrange one friendly at least against Kafa Nation. Then Akash, more than the AIFF. Carol has said that Ivan was replaced for a change with what happened. So who is at fault? How can the team improve if they try new things every season? Pradeep, try new things every season could have been said 3 years ago. Carol has got Ivan in. He was there for 3 years. Didn't win anything. So if that's the objective that we want to speak about, then Ivan Vukovanovic has failed on that front. But of course, he's given a lot of hope to the Blasters fans. So to me, after 3 years, not winning anything, I think it was time for a change. And I think, but again, that's the problem. Why AIFF is begging State FA for host Super Cup? Where is all the money going? I don't know. It's a good question. No one knows what AIFF is doing with their budget. Exactly. If India has to play better opponents, then first we have to make ourselves better. I think that's the thing, Manolo, that I think a lot of people don't want to understand that, again, as I said, no one is waiting to play the Indian national team. So for me, the point is that that for us to be playing better opponents, again, we did play in 2023, Kyrgyz Republic, and other nations, but the real top nations don't, not even China wants to play us at the moment, right? And we've played them. I remember in Stevens' tenure away, even in China. What's the relation between Liverpool and Dortmund? Liverpool was playing magical football. Yeah, Liverpool under Arne Slot, who would have thought, really, really good. And Liverpool and Dortmund have a fan friendship. Yeah. Out of context question, how RB Leipzig fulfilled 50+1 rule. They got themselves involved in SSV Mark Randstadt, the original club of what now is RB Leipzig, and fulfilled the criteria there. There was an exemption made by the league because the league realized someone like an entry like Red Bull coming in does help German football, and that's why they're playing. Why are Blasters so mad? Their attack seems so toothless. Abhijit, the problem is, I think, that their attack is not that toothless. I think their defense is the problem, rather, I would say, if I look at the Blasters, right? The Blasters have scored 30 goals but conceded 35. So I think that the defense is more of a problem. The goalkeeping department is a problem. To play well, we need support. To get support, we need to play well. And Babalu's animation, that is sort of a vicious cycle, right? The one cannot live without the other, and that is sort of one of the struggling points for the Blasters, where they've never ever been able to figure out how to sort themselves out in a way that they can, play to the best of their capabilities and abilities on one side, and on the other side, keep the support. I think Blasters need new management. They have released their best performing players. Akash, I said that quite a few times that the model at the Blasters has clearly been to try and balance books, right? If the Blasters fans like it or not. And if that's the task that has been given to the management, then I would say on the other side, uh, uh, I think that the management actually has been doing the right thing, you know, so therefore for me, yeah, the management has been doing that. It's just the question is, I think the communications. Why would any low-ranked nation against India? I mean, they will love the freaking points. XYZ, you have to go around and ask federations, do you want to play us? That's an open conversation. And when are you available? When you're free, you try and match the dates. And if uh, and that seems to be, first of all, I think a lot of nations are saying thank you very much. We don't want to play you. And secondly, a lot of these top nations, I said, they have other commitments already in place. So therefore, very, very difficult for us to play. Blasters was attacking well under Star, and now they stopped pressing, but still defense is shaky. Bubbler's animation, the question to me is that was Mikkel Store fired too early? I think that's a question that might be asked to the Blasters. All the creative players lacking physicality, which is quite important in international fixtures. Very valid point. Sorry. I feel that's a very, very important point, Obijit. We have a lot of these small, tricky wingers, but in international football, they can get pushed around, right? And that's a real problem. So to me, that's one of the question. Yeah, that we need better level footballers and better built footballers to be able to compete at international level. Just, just one second. Sorry. So yeah, to get back to that question, Abhijit, to me, one of the issues that we need to look at is physicality. If physicality is not there, they could be the best players in the ISL. I look back at Mahesh at last year at the AFC Asian Cup. You'll be pushed around. Blasters team budget versus Goa's budget. Goa is a little higher than that. Do you think FC Goa should sack Manolo for not winning ISL Shield? Gaurav, he's leaving at the end of the season, so he's there for a few more weeks. So why fire him now? Were FC Goa really in the running for the Shield? I don't think so. How are you? I'm good, Vikram. Thanks. Which club is proper club in India? I mean, which is working on grassroots, good training facilities, etc., like good European country. If you want to talk about overall structure, like which is normal in Europe, then I would have to say we have no club in India. There are certain clubs which will fulfill certain criteria, and you put a tick mark next to it. But most clubs will not be able to fulfill even 80% of criteria needed to be a full-fledged club like Europe is. Goa bottled many matches in the beginning of the season that harmed them a lot. Otherwise, they would have challenged Mohun Bagan. Akash, see, that's the point that Mohun Bagan won the League Shield because they've been the most consistent. FC Goa at the beginning were unsettled. Sandesh Jhingan was missing. I think that's the most important factor that one needs to talk about. That Sandesh was missing at the start of the season, and that hurt FC Goa badly. Right, that is something that they weren't able to cover. But other teams as well. BFC had a great start, couldn't keep it. Punjab FC had a brilliant start, couldn't keep it. So therefore, these are all factors. And Mohun Bagan also didn't have a good start, but they somehow or the other kept it together. Didn't always play the most fanciful football, but they got the results, and that is something of which is important. Muscles are very important. Our kids don't understand that our top players look like malnourished kids. Muscles is one thing. I think height and physicality in general is a thing. It's not just about muscles. I know some players who have too much of muscles, but the rest doesn't fit up. And so therefore there are different ways of doing it or making it. But yeah, why Jahu left seems quite unprofessional conduct, at least from someone like him. I guess that's what Abhijit wanted to say. I don't know why he left. I still don't know. I don't know if you guys have heard anything concrete, but I've heard a lot of rumors, so therefore I'm not going to spread them. But something must have happened in the team, in the squad, maybe with the coach, maybe with some other player, and that's why, yeah. So therefore, yeah. Who are the majority stakeholders of FC Goa? The owner of the Delton Group, that is Jaidev Modi. He is the majority stakeholder, or he's the only stakeholder at the moment, I think, of FC Goa. Bangalore FC was in Shield race at one point. Yeah, Bablu's at the beginning, I would have thought, Navmeet, if you look at older videos from the start of the ISL campaign, I would have thought BFC was in it. But somehow BFC lost their way and sadly have never recovered from that. Then why these big teams wasting money on big players on their first team? These things don't happen. Anything doesn't help. Anything doesn't help India team. What is doing these clubs with legacy doesn't doing basic things. Vikram, this is a question. The question you should be asking these clubs for 100 plus years, right? And you can ask that to other teams who've been around for X number of years, the ISL teams who've been around for 11 years. The point is wasting money on so-called big players, I would say, right? Big players in our terms are actually small players of wherever they're coming from. So therefore, that's also reality. Do you think a small state like Goa deserves to have two teams in ISL in case Church Brothers win I-League? Gaurav, the question in these kind of things with promotion and relegation, it's not something what you deserve, what you don't deserve. Whoever qualifies deserves to be playing in the top league or in the second tier or third tier, whatever. Whoever gets promoted has earned that promotion. With Church Brothers, let's see. I mean, they've now had 3 draws in a row. I think that's quite tricky. They're in a tricky scenario, I feel. So let's see if they get promoted. Yeah, that's good for Goa football, one would feel. But does Churchill Brothers actually have a fan base? Right, that's my simple question. In the old NFL I-League days, Churchill Brothers, Dempo, Sargaonkar, Sporting Club, all of them used to play at relatively empty stadiums, right? So that's also reality. Enough if we win against Bangladesh, should we keep the same set of players for the entire qualifiers or change the squad plus what India should do in away games? XYZ, the coach has to look window to window. Who's injured, who's fit, who's available, and Manolo needs to see what the strategy is according to the opponent. This Asian domination has been projected as Bagan's next plan. I find it highly whimsical. Paritro, I don't find it whimsical. I find it a joke. Because if I look at that, for example, Al Nasser could be playing ACL 2 And just think of what Cristiano Ronaldo is earning compared to what the whole ISL is spending. You know, yeah. So therefore, I would have rather liked to have seen that Mr. Goenka goes out there and says, you know what, we are proving year on year we are a top team in the Indian Super League. Now let's do something for Indian football and let's grow this club. Let's build infrastructure in regard to grassroots and youth development. Let's plan for an own stadium. That would have been a step. That would have been a step which I would have liked to see. But again, he's only interested in the trophies in the ISL. So yeah, there's no point of reserve. Whichever brothers win the league, they will come with merit. Yeah. How dangerous are the Bangladeshi foreigners? How should we try to neutralize them? Strong defense and hit them on counters. Obijit, the question is, we'd have to look at ourselves rather than looking at Bangladesh. I think if we start looking at Bangladesh, that showcases how somewhat weak we seem to be at this moment. I think that would be my or is my personal concern when I look at an Indian football team. An Indian football team should not be going into a game against Bangladesh thinking, oh my God, let's avoid Bangladesh getting opportunities and chances. No, we should be trying to play to control. We're playing at home. We will have home support, and that needs to be showcased in the way they play. And that's something which I feel is missing. Our main challenge by far will be Hong Kong. Let's prepare very, very well. Their past record are very impressive. They can do double on us. Every team in this group could be dangerous to us. So yeah. Why are players' first time shot and composure so bad? Because they didn't learn it at the right time. You know, it is they're not learning the basics properly, right? My concern is with Indian footballers across age groups is that they're not learning the right things at the right age, and therefore that is being exposed at the moment in the ISL. Interkashi is now second with one game less than Churchill Brothers. Now Namdar FC awarded loss after fielding suspended player. Yes, so now suddenly Interkashi could go top of the I League. Um, so Vikram asks, sir, please tell me what we have achieved in all these years after ISL, Indian football before and after. Tell me what's the difference. Something changed, our standards are going low and low. Vikram, the standards on the field are an issue. They were an issue. The first problem is I think that the rest of the world has started developing its football structure and organization and also trying to take shortcuts like using players of origin. To me, the biggest gains of the ISL over the last 10, 11 years has been that the infrastructure generally has been improved in regard to stadiums and training facilities for the top teams. Better facilities for fans. I know fans will say, oh, stadiums is dirty, this is dirty, that is dirty. Yeah, but in the past that was even worse. So just think how bad things were 20, 30 years ago. So those, civic sense, I think, is one of those topics. The broadcast has improved manyfold. So therefore, those are things which have improved. But on field, the foreigners are better than they used to come in I-League days. That's surely there. But our own players are the worry. Let us jump on the we have qualified for Asian Cup if we win first two games or are on top or two games remain. Let's finish the last and look at where we finish, unlike the last time. Yeah, I agree. Oritra says, my problem isn't we'll get bashed if we face Saudi teams, but then I will see a club, Bruges against City last season. They lost but put up a fight. We can't, or FA Cup 40 teams competed with Liverpool. Yeah. Very good point, Oritra. Most unbeaten run, most away wins at home. 3 playoffs, 30 plus points. Now, what to prove the team will improve only by keeping a coach role like this. The fault lies with the management. Pradeep, you are happy with playoffs or you want championships? Again, that's my question. And I thought you wanted titles, and if I go by that count, then Vukovanovic has failed. We can win an Asian trophy if we intentionally lose AFCCL 2 qualifier was as much better chance for Challenge League to win something. Could be, but again, even that is not going to be easy. Why East Bengal is so bad even after so much spending? They should be thankful that there's no relegation. Can Mumbai win title with not East United score investments? See, East Bengal is spending money, but have they spent it wisely? You know? So, in my opinion, no, he's not. East Bengal have not spent money wisely. They spend a lot of money on their first team, but did they spend on the overall squad? Did they spend on the overall club? No, they didn't. So for me, that's the problem with them. And can Mohun Bagan with Northeast United SC squad? I don't know. Honestly, difficult to make these cross comparisons. If India start all out defending against Bangladesh, we'll definitely lose. We need to play direct football. I don't think we need to play direct football. I also don't think we need to defend. We need to play pragmatic football, whatever is the need of the time, and then we'll have to see how we build on that. Will India be the last nation ever to qualify for World Cup? XYZ, I think they're going to be countries which will never qualify for the World Cup. But we are part of that group at the moment. Is Sahal fit? No, he isn't. Abhijit, Shrimar consider Ashik and Rabe. Rabe to me, no. Ashik hasn't played enough. Let's see. Why was Goa allowed to have 4 I-League teams in the past? Gaurav, because some of them have been part and some of them got promoted. Isaac won't make the squad again, nor will Prabhu. Let's see. XYZ. Manan needs to show courage to change the squad. We cannot miss AFC Cup at any cost. And Akash, that is where I say, if you're bringing in the young so-called players that should be in there, they're not good enough, right? Can Bagan defeat third-tier German club or second-tier mid-table German club? If not, put a fight, put some combination. 7+ for foreigners. Nah. Don't think that. I'll be brutal now. I watched yesterday a great game of football here in Remscheid of my team, FC Remscheid, 6th-tier. I think Mohun Bagan will struggle against them. Right? So, second-tier, third-tier, Indian club, ISL, no chance. Hi Kumar, welcome back. Even if we beat Bangladesh in March, they will come back with more origin players in the next match, so March is our only chance. Pablo's animation, we have to look at match by match. I think I agree with XYZ on that front, that we need to, get ready for the challenges that lie ahead of us. And to me, we need to have a positive start into these qualifiers. And those qualifiers are not going to be easy. So therefore, for me, we need to try and find solutions to our game, to our problems. And Manolo has shown this season in the ISL with FC Goa that he is willing to make those changes whenever he thinks he needs to. So therefore, I hope it works for him and for us, and then we'll see what happens. Right? That's the challenge. What's your solution for Indian team player for not having any desire and commitment while playing for Team India? Last excuse was ego. What's the excuse now? Vikram, I think a general conversation needs to be had with the players. Ideally, Kalyan Chauve would be there, talk to the players once. Try to influence the game, and also try and touch their hearts and their souls and make them understand what the India jersey means. I think that's one of the biggest problems, that these players are playing club football or national team football as a lot of them as if it's a job. That's become a problem. If India cannot qualify for Asian Cup from this doable group, India will definitely not qualify for next 5 Asian Cup, because look at all so-called weak teams becoming strong. Even Sri Lanka beat Yemen. Let's see. I don't know if I would like India to qualify, as I've said. But what's going to happen in the next 5, I don't know. In American sports culture, there's a term called clutch players, meaning perform when it matters the most. Do you believe it? Does terms like this exist in football? I have not heard about clutch players, to be honest, Abhijit. But yeah, there are players who will perform when you need them, you know? Why Northeast United is struggling at Shillong Stadium? Height issues or turf issues? Gosh, I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes you have, these bogey venues, bogey opponents. Of course, it's bad for them because it's their own home venue, but it seems to be something that they haven't been able to sort out. What's the difference between good player and very good player? And that's Demi Petratos, very good season, totally deserving hard work winners, love and respect. 4 Mohun Super Giant from East Bengal, and that's great to see. You know, Shomula, good to see that you're doing this. But Demi Petratos is an interesting story. Had a very bad season, but again, in that game, to decide the title, he was there, and yeah, he got them the goal. Sunil was a clutch player against South, sadly not a big clutch player. Okay. So honestly, do you think Bibiano is a very good coach for the youth, where we should develop players? I know he was able to give results, but the football he played not going to develop our players. SKM, the question is not what kind of football Bibiano played. The question is also, why did Bibiano play that football, right? That's the question. And sometimes it's a question of quality. And we have a quality issue with our players, and that's something which we're not willing to accept. And then Bibiano tried to get the best out of them. And I think if you look at Bibiano, what he was working pre-COVID and what he's working with now, then I have to say that the quality has dropped quite dramatically over the last 5, 6, 7 years. Apuya should try in Europe. He has good potential. Akash, we've discussed this in many, many shows, that players like him, if they get the amount of money that they get in India, why would they move abroad? And also a realistic approach of where he can try out. That's the other problem with Indian players. I personally like American sporting culture more than Europe's. Want to see 7-game series in playoffs in ISL and other leagues as well. Okay. But the 7-match series doesn't happen in football, right? I mean, it doesn't happen in the MLS also. That's something which I have in basketball, in ice hockey, and in baseball. You don't even have it in American football, which is a one-off knockout. So therefore, in football, 7-game series honestly do not work. I mean, yeah, it just doesn't make sense, because you don't have enough time to play that many playoff matches, right? So therefore, some of these things can be done, should be done, but some of these things are just unrealistic to be implemented. I think that's also a reality. So, we have to see what we can implement in India and what we can't. Dada, what should be the next goal for Mohun as a club? Should copy JDT or Puri Ram model? Shomo, a little earlier, I was saying that, if Mr. Goenka, someone needs to make him understand that the next step, when he talks about continental football, is nice, but then what he's spending is peanuts at a continental level, right? In Indian level, because I think Mohun Bagan needs to try and build its own infrastructure for youth football, an own facility with, let's say, 4 pitches. Look at an own stadium, own training facilities outside of the Maidan. Keep that heritage ground of, you know, on the Maidans, but build something outside of it. And I think that's the biggest thing that needs to be done. Do you believe the allegations put by Mesut Özil when Germany got nerved in 2018 World Cup when people called him Turkish? Why did Germans say that about the best German midfielder? Because Özil, before that tournament, went there and took a picture with Erdogan, the Turkish president. And now he's been in Turkey. He's been openly supporting him. So therefore, I think there is something for. I think I'm on the side of being a German. I'm on the side of that. Do you watch NFL once in a while? It's quite fun to watch. It's growing in Japan and Germany as well. Popularity in Europe as well, like Germany. Have you seen it, Abhijit? Yes, I've seen it, but American football is not really my sport. So for me, it was football. It is football. So therefore, NFL, not my game. One thing we can learn from MLS, Murali, there are so many things that we can learn from Major League Soccer, is how to build a league, how to grow a league, how to get financial commitments out of clubs, how to structure your finances, how to grow the league. Yeah, so many things. Would it be wiser to spend that money on youth development than go for Asia? 100%. I mean, Hannibal Lecter, he could, you know what? I forget the Asia thing. If you would take 5, maybe even 10, yeah, 5 to 10 crores out of the money you're spending at the moment, you could build a solid foundation of grassroots and youth football. But that's not happening. So therefore, for me, that's how Mohun Bagan is treating this whole thing, and therefore, yeah, that's where the whole thing is. So therefore, it is something which is there. They were racist against him, called him anti-national. He's of Turkish origin. So visit Turkey, very weird. XYZ, it is again. It wasn't racist against him. If someone is preparing for playing a World Cup, and very interesting, İlkay Gundogan was part of the picture, and İlkay Gundogan said sorry for that. That the timing of it was wrong, and most probably doing that was wrong. Özil never said that. Özil has always defended it, and therefore, I don't think it is racist, and it is, yeah, in some sense, it was anti-national. That what he did, right, and that has to be called out. Don't get into this that everything is always under the racism card. Certain people will surely have said it because it's racist, but a lot of people who are not racist but have a viewpoint, and I belong to those people, that it was at the time was wrong, and he did it. Al Nassr would put 14 on Mohun Bagan. Hell, any ACL 2 team would put 4 on Mohun Bagan. Yeah, it was that. Yeah, very big problem. Avijit, if every ISL team had U21 squad and they travel and train with the main squad and play with opponents with 21 squad before the main match, does it make sense? Avijit, your problem is, where is the base of players to having such a under 21 traveling party? That's the question that I would then have. We don't have the capability. RFDL, how many players are being produced by RFDL, by Reliance Foundation Development League? Right? Imagine if Indian clubs make good players, they can earn millions in transfer fees. Hannibal Lecter, if they make good players and earn millions in transfer fees, we are decades away from that. The market is inside of India. There is no international market for that. Why Europeans hate Erdogan, but Turkey was the first to join NATO, an European nation. Turkey is not an European nation. And they were not the first to join NATO. They joined NATO much, much later. And there are reasons for it. Because that, and again, like the other day, I don't want to get into these political discussions. The guy is a problem and it should be called out to be a problem, which is also a problem these days of calling out problems. Right, over an hour on this live on a Monday evening, 24th of February. And yeah, if you haven't, you're watching, you're liking what the discussion is about on Indian football, do leave a like behind and share it with other people also to potentially join us in our conversations. Let's keep on growing the community. 13 likes so far. Thanks you very, very much. And of course, also, if you like to hear and see more of things on this channel, 2,252 subscribers so far. Thank you very much for that as well. And yeah, do watch, as I say, the shorter videos. Did something on Mohun Bagan earlier today. Yesterday did something on Shillong hosting or not hosting the Maldives, maybe even the Bangladesh match. Amateur whose sudden departure already has over 1,000 views. Thank you for that. Watched the earlier one on Subrato, the I-League title race, the future of the ISL. Molina, why the fans don't really love him. Kolkata footballer topic, East Bengal's fans protesting. So do watch those things as well. Yeah, and as always, thank you for your support. And let's keep the discussion on Indian football going on what is happening, or rather not happening, or happening or should happen. I think that is, again, to me, a sign that where we need to go, and what needs to happen. So therefore, yeah, that's the challenge as things stand at the moment. Whether your opinion, far-right party winning German elections, how they believe the agenda has been cracked on immigration and minorities, did you vote? They didn't win the election. Yes, they did. They got more than 20% of the vote, which means nearly 80% of Germans voted actually for democratic parties. It's a problem. And yes, I did vote as a German citizen. Is there a friction between Germany and Turkey? Özil is quite a nutcase, calls out China on Uyghur issue, but stays silent on the Armenian genocide and against religious kind of extremism. Abhijit, again, I don't want to go into too much of details on Özil and stuff. I think Özil has sided with things which are questionable, and you've mentioned them. Again, this is a very subjective and opportunistic way of siding with people, or calling out and then not looking inwards on things. And on certain things, certainly there are frictions between Germany and Turkey, or rather between Europe and Turkey. But again, let's get out that political fold. Let's get back into football rather than and talk about football again. What happened with it? Is it sided with Turkey on certain things, which I think for a democratic country like Germany is just not acceptable, and therefore he's fallen out of favor over here. And he calls it racism. I think he should introspect, which he never did. But again, that's the problem. Certain people misuse the racism card whenever it doesn't go in their favor, and that's the problem with Mesut and with other people as well. But again, let's try and get back to football. If you have football questions, do throw them at me, point them at me, and I'll try and answer them as well. Tomorrow also no ISL game, so only Wednesday the ISL will be back again. The ISL playoffs, of course, is, I think, going to be interesting to see what is going to happen. Let's see what. Sorry, what am I saying? Tomorrow there is a match. Sorry, BFC versus Chennai. Sorry, I missed that. BFC versus Chennai, important. Yeah, BFC leading the points. Wednesday, East Bengal versus Hyderabad. Punjab versus Goa on Thursday. Friday, Odisha versus Mohun Sporting. Saturday, Mumbai City versus Mohun Bagan and Kerala Blasters versus Jamshedpur FC. And Sunday, East Bengal versus Bengaluru. And then we have, still a little bit more matches to go till the 12th. So quite a bit of football until the 12th of March. And then, of course, there is a break in Indian football for the qualifiers for the international friendly against Maldives, and then of course the qualifier against Bangladesh, and post that, if I am right, so therefore, that should be the case. Any instance you had enough is enough international football? No, morally. International football is a different thing, right? You can watch, so that you still believe that Vishal and Shubhashish should not be automatic starter for national team. Prashanto, Shubhashish could be, maybe. Let's see what the decision is. Vishal is not a starter for me. I'm interested in geopolitics. Love to see your take on geopolitics issues. Will get more views than football for sure. Obijit, yes, but again, I don't want to get into geopolitics because it's very, very complex these days. Want to see good football with India? Is it possible? XYZ, it has been possible in the past, but rarely. Uh, uh, you know, but I don't know. At the moment, looks difficult. If results is your priority, you would have left Indian football a long time ago. Yeah, Murali, very, very right. By the way, India made history in ice hockey in China. Did you follow? Indians got so much potential but corruption. Ice hockey is, yeah, I read it, but again, they got thrashed as well. So I don't know where you're getting that potential. There was a win against Macau, right? Development of European kid and other parts of drastic difference. Yes, Murali. Um, but not everywhere, no? You've got kids in South America developing to a certain level. You have players in now North America, not only US, but in Canada developing to a certain level. You have players in Africa who develop certain parts of Asia who develop. Yeah, but yeah, that's football is international these days. I think Shubhashish Bose is tried and tested for national team. He didn't work. That's the other thing, right? In the national team, he doesn't have an Alberto Rodriguez or a Tom Alderweireld next to him. So therefore, I don't know. Good question. Hyping has been huge issue in Indian football. Yeah, that's um, it's a big issue in today's world. I don't think it's just a football problem. I think hyping in general is a big issue that you hype a lot in today's world, in today's surroundings. Um, and therefore, yeah, it is, if you see a little bit of potential, then people already push. Vidal is my favorite. How he's different from Rodi. Mm, Vidal was a destructor, and Rodri is a destructor, but also a creative player. So Rodri is, I think, the most complete holding midfielder of our times, able to hold, control, spread the ball, different level of a player, different quality of a player, different level of a player, as I say, and therefore Vidal again was very destructive. Also got involved in brawls and fouls. So therefore, these two to compare these two, I think, is very very difficult in my opinion. Anas Todika is better than Shubhashish. He's the best Bengali footballer now. This is Bengal's best talent. Anas in his prime, yes, but how many years did Anas play in his prime? I mean, that would be the other question. And Anas and Shubhashish play in different positions. Shubhashish is more of a left back, and Anas was a centre back. You know, and therefore this comparison, in my opinion, doesn't work. Vidal is like the Paul, Rodri more like Busquets. I don't know. Different players. Rodri. Again, Busquets wasn't as complete as Rodri. As Rodri is next level. If Busquets is 1.0, then Rodri is 2.0, and he's much better. I think football has not seen a level of a Rodri player in his prime, and therefore you saw that last season with City. You saw that last season with Spain and the Euros. Exceptional. Financial stability of players in Europe better. Morali, if I look at the salaries that the Indian players are getting, then I would say that the stability most probably in India is better. Iniesta, what made him special? The way movements, his passes, his vision, very, very. Hi, Blue. Welcome back. Good to see you joining in with this live already 1 hour and 10 minutes, which means 70 minutes into this live on a Monday evening. As I say again and again, do leave a like behind, do leave a subscription behind. 15 likes so far, and yeah, we're growing nicely. And also, as I say, watch the short videos. which gives the channel much bigger reach. Thank you very much for that as always. Hi Aditya. Apart from football, any things you love, any philosophies, any classes? Yeah, Aditya. Surely there are past regrets. There are ideas for the future, any philosophies. Yeah, other things I love, but again, that's not the space here to talk about. Rodley or Lothar Matthäus? XYZ, even though I I I love Lothar as a player, but Lothar is a different kind of player than Rodri. Therefore, I would rate Rodri higher than Lothar. Zlatan Vidal, they carried special swag. Yeah. As Mohun Bagan, one should now focus on Indian football teams. Scary? No, Blue. We still have the ISL Cup to play for. Let's look at that. Uh, uh, um, and then we will focus on the Indian national team. Still to finalize the last 3 slots for the ISL playoffs. So let's see what happens. Apart from so, what are your favorite hobbies? Murali, as I said, let's keep that private stuff outside of this. Let's keep it to football. Do you think the camera quality of ISL has increased? Hannibal, I think if you look at the last decade, generally the quality of television production has improved. Um, that you've had HD, 4K, all these other things, simplified technology. I think those are major advancements generally in technology, which have also helped Indian football. So therefore, for me, that's something which I think one needs to think and look at. I hope one of the regrets is not working so much for Indian football with nothing in return. Yeah. See, if I see the world differently. Again, if I want to go and look at regrets, um, I have had if I generalize through my work in football, I've seen um, parts of the world which I would have never seen if there wasn't football. I would have never traveled around the Caribbean of football. I would have not traveled to, let's say, an ISL. Why would I travel to Mizoram? I would never travel. I would have traveled to Delhi. I would have traveled to Mumbai or Bangalore, Kolkata, of course. But would I travel to northern parts of Bengal? Would I have traveled to Jamshedpur? Would I have traveled to, as I say, Aizawl? No. So football has given me a lot of things. So, and Indian football, listen, I live in the real world. I am realistic. I am pragmatic in these things. I know that the little things that I've been able to influence, I've been able to influence. Uh, um, so, yeah. Therefore, for me, um, there are no regrets. And again, I've played my parts and done whatever I could. Come on, we always talk about football here. Some do it while sitting in the corner of their room, while others were sipping coffee like me at 11 p.m. I mean, you're the only creator I feel said is intellectual. Thanks, Aditya, for that. Uh, but again, this is a football discussion, and again, you might be willing to do a different kind of discussion. But again, we're here for football, so therefore, let's stick to football. Do you think power aspect like made Robin special? Yeah, could be. Robin Singh. I think height was a factor, and of course, yeah, the power that he had as well. There is nothing left to talk about Indian football. I think we have discussed more about Indian football than AIFF officials. We have, but there's always a new angle or thing that we can discuss XYZ. So therefore, I at least think it's always very interesting. And there are new people who once in a while join in. So that's also to try and keep those people, afloat on what's happening, what's not happening, what should be happening in Indian football. The 5 p.m. East Bengal Punjab FC quality was insane, like European quality. I didn't see that. I don't know. So Not to me. But success rate is less in Indian football compared to success, I guess, elsewhere. Murali, success is something, sometimes you're happy about small little things happening, but you have to be realistic as well. And I've been, um, so therefore for me, yeah. Could cricket ever come as the same caliber and level as football? Could it be as special as football? Could it be more emotional than football? Aditya, I don't watch cricket, so I can't join that conversation. I don't think so because cricket is not a global sport and will never be a global sport. All other things, yeah, is something. Um, yeah, that is it. How boring is India Pakistan cricket these days? Pakistan cricket is the same problem as India football. Absolutely no quality. Again, I have no clue how good or bad Pakistan is. I didn't even bother what happened yesterday. Do you think Lobera could be blamed for his players he brought? Like people are saying that Odisha FC is at fault, but we gave the whole transfer thing to Lobera and he messed up. Aditya, did he mess up? Odisha FC was a smaller team when Lobera joined, and he tried to take it to the next level. It seemed to have worked last season, and now, for a lot of reasons, it didn't work. So again, not every time it will work. And one has to be honest, Lobera did not have the resources at Odisha that he had in Goa and at Mumbai City. I mean, camera quality, not gameplay was. As I said, camera quality was. Sorry, yeah. Sorry. Then Hannibal. Sorry, I forgot. I totally misunderstood you then. Yes, to me, camera quality, yes, it is comparable. And you see on a sunny, bright Delhi afternoon how that could be looking. You have to find happiness in small things if the subject is Indian football. Exactly, Aditya. And that's what I said. Blue says Dimi last minute goal was so much deserved. It was like written in stars. It's still a flop season for him, but I think sure he's the best player for Mohun in this decade. Yeah, he's been very influential, to say the least. And as you say, I'm very happy for him because I saw him when I was in Kolkata. I saw him staying in the same hotel. You saw with his dropped shoulders and all that it was taking a toll on a player like Petratos, who has been carrying this team somewhat over the last 2-3 years, and therefore, yeah, there was it. Attacking football, Igor promised at the end nest. He promised a lot and never delivered. Time consumption is problem in cricket. Maybe there are other problems. Where do you rate Edwin? Indian football are nothing special. Edwin disappeared. XYZ, he's been injured. Therefore, so yeah. Who's your favorite German club and German player? Pranjal, I support Bayern Munich at the national level. I support locally my local team FC Remscheid over here, and so those are the two. And German player at the moment, I guess it's Musiala. It's most probably Wirtz. If you say of all times, it's most probably Beckenbauer and Franz Beckenbauer, right? Gerd Müller and Franz Beckenbauer would be my all-time favorites, most probably. We were robbed so badly by Bagan, foul, red cards. See players getting injured on field. Jahun, Diego absent. Tifo showing Odia people and fans looking stupid. Karma is a thunder. Bagan. First of all, the red card can be given. It's not a rob. So it's a 50-50. It can be seen that he's stopping the action, but it can also seen that Delgado can step in. So I don't think that there's something. And players getting injured happens. Jahu and Diego absent also happens. Tifos, yeah. Again, there's been a lot of banter online, so therefore, take it and give it back. Hirubadia said when we lost 6-0 to you, it shows our level where we stand. Yeah, and he was right, right? Isn't Musiala English product? Played for England. Why are Germans taking credit? Good work. Buying him passport first before England call up. XYZ, there are two things. Musiala started his football in Germany. Then his mother shifted to Southampton to study. Southampton picked him up from school football. Then he went from Southampton to Chelsea. Chelsea released the player. Bayern Munich gave him a chance. And at Bayern, he became what he became. And he's by birth, he's German. So therefore, he decided to then in the end to play for Germany. Very simple. India lost to Germany in hockey. Okay. Hi, Janjolin. Why don't we have good coaches from Europe for Indian underage team to be at the same level with those kids in Europe? We might spend a lot, but if we really want Indian football, every club should hire good coaches underage and organize matches for them in Europe. This might actually work. I don't know if it will work. The problem is the system, the cost. There's a lot of things. Sorry, but cricket, except maybe IPL T20, is just too much time and literally nothing happens all the time. And except IPL, most games are predictable. Again, you can say anything, but I don't follow cricket. I honestly don't know. If India plays a match against your local, will you be interested to watch? Yeah, why not? We've done that in the past. Huh? The under-17s played over here locally in Remscheid um, in a 4-team tournament, which I organized in 2002 when they were here on a camp. So they said Jahu was bribed by Mohun Bagan. No, yeah. In which division is your local club? 6th tier. Have you ever invited by celebrity or millionaire? Yeah, Murali, I have been. One chapter in football you don't like to revisit. Yeah, there are a few, but nothing to talk public. Why don't you try football commentary? Akash, I've done it in the past. So, yeah. So I've done it in the past. I do commentary here in Germany as well. So, but that is, I always say, a side hustle to the other work in regard to consulting and other works. Yeah, but he started playing crazy football in England in that youth setup with Bellingham Palmer. Where he was playing crazy or not is not the question. At Chelsea, they didn't think he was good enough and they released him and he signed for Bayern Munich. So I don't think, yeah. Is Jackson ever coming to Mohun next season? Don't know where this rumor comes from, but I don't know. I think you should make videos on your own experience in Indian football, where you went, where you worked, and what you have achieved. It would be great to Indian football sphere. Someone actually, like you said, you visit to Mizoram, Mumbai, and so on. Yeah, maybe to do something. I mean, I did that recently, right? When I went to Mumbai, I went to Delhi to watch the games. Stadium visit, Jawaharlal Nehru, Mumbai Football Arena. Made those videos, but again, there's you guys are, avid followers, loyal followers. You will watch it. I don't know if other people watch it. So therefore, that is always a discussion. What makes sense? What doesn't make sense? Rafael Augusto of Chennai. Let's see how good he plays. A good player, good quality player in the past. Let's see. AIFF Bilkum will hear Delhi FC East Bengal appeal regarding PSC verdict that never came. Like, what is this? The appeal committee. Yeah, let's not get into that. India, we was saying that there is no Indian that hasn't played cricket, and that is not true. I know enough Indians who've never touched a cricket bat. This is one of the biggest lies, I would say. So, yeah, doesn't work. When will you work with an Indian club? Akash, never know. Might tomorrow I might get an offer and I might say yes. Um, you know, therefore, never say never. Do you think Australia bench strength over the years declined and past that Tim Cahill or the players? Yeah, Munali, not only bench strength, but first team players, they're much worse. Are you born in Germany? Yes, Hannibal, I am born in Germany. That's completely false. Exactly, that's what I say. This cricket saying that cricket is, again, I don't think cricket is as big as it's made. It's commercially the biggest sport in India. It is media-wise the biggest sport in India. But is it the biggest sport in India? I think as a youth sport, football is bigger than cricket. Whatever people say. That's my own experience, even in a city like Mumbai. There must be something you have done for Northeast United. Make some video on it while speaking Hindi. Trust me, it will work for all creators who don't want to give appeal to Bengali followers. Yeah, but Aditya, that's not the way, I don't plan these things and I don't strategize these things and saying, oh, I need to make a video and then people watch it. I do things, things which topics to talk about. I raise topics. I mean, I found it interesting. Someone said to me the other day, oh, you know what? This whole Supreme Court hearing thing that the judgment's supposed to come at 2 p.m. on the 25th, and then in the evening, India's playing Bangladesh. Other people picked it up. I said it, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. So therefore, I know I raised the topic of Asian Games issues which will arise with releasing players and other things. I raised it 2 months before. I see things before because that's if you've worked in football, it is something. So therefore, yeah. Most of my friends never play cricket. And Akash, I think a lot of you guys will come up with saying that there is this perception in certain parts of India that cricket is the start and the ending of sport, and it's not. I always tell that to people. I remember I had a huge discussion in Gujarat about that. Please come to Kalinga Stadium too. Aditya, I will want to. Let me see. Won't happen this season. Maybe next season I can make it happen. Gentleman says, I really have no expectation for Kalyan Chaube and his team. My personal opinion. Yeah, I don't have as well. Let's be honest about it. They would have to do things in a way that would change things dramatically. And yeah, I don't know. Hockey is a sport where India can compete against top teams. Do you see India and Germany hockey same? Murali, hockey has the same problem as cricket. Very few countries actually play it. And yes, India can compete with the best in the world. So yeah. Hindi-speaking states don't have footballing audience, so no logic in making Hindi language content. Akash, that is also not true. I think there are a lot of football fans in the Hindi-speaking belt and they don't have an outlet. If I see, for example, Hiren, Curious Harry, he does a lot of Hindi content. All the others who do football content. So therefore, yeah. What made you interested in interacting with fans? Murali, I always did that wherever I worked, be it at Mumbai City, Punjab FC, other things. Always fans are part and parcel of football. Football is for the fans at the end of the day, right? So therefore, fans interactions to me is one of the most important things. It's most probably a mistake. I should have started this YouTube channel way earlier than I did actually. But let's see. ISL would have been so big if football would have been more popular than cricket. Kolkata isolated football in that region. No one talks about it. Aditya, I think football is there. Look at the growth of football in the Northeast over the last 2-3 decades. And you mentioned once football comes to northern states like the working class or poor people, football, it will blow up. Aditya, I'm interested to see what Inter-Kashti can do once they move to UP. I am really, that Supreme Court verdict can literally ruin everything. Yes, it could be. Foolish were those people who thought Steemach and Kalyan were upgrade from off Constantine and Prabhu Patel. Aditya, sorry. To me, that's the biggest problem. In Indian football, once again, I just need to. To me, is that the biggest problem that we had. I remember Stephen resigned after the Bahrain loss, 2019 AFC Asian Cup, and I was actually in a car with Surendra Dhar, the I League CEO, Subradatta, AIFF Senior Vice President. I'm Vijayan was also in the car. We're discussing, and then Subradatta tells us, "Oh, Stephen just resigned in the press conference." And even he said, oh, none of us could step in and do something about this. Because if you see Stephen and the Indian team at the AFC Asian Cup 2019, Stephen had brought the team to a certain level and he could take them to this next level. And he should have taken the team to the next level. But he thought his cycle was over. It was better to move on. And therefore, that's a sad one. And on the Proful thing, again, Proful wasn't liked. People threw a lot of things at him, at Kushal Das, at Sunando, and all these guys. And I knew, because I interacted quite a bit, especially at that time, because of Roundgrass Punjab, with Kushal Das and with Sunando Dhar, that these guys were trying to keep the system alive with all the problems. And they did. I remember Sunando asked me to come in. I was in India, so I came in 2 weeks. I was an expert on the I League, and it was great to see how these people were keeping the system running with all these problems. And this is something that no one realized, right? And those who got us banned by FIFA and wanted those changes, the changes over the last 3.5 years have not taken us forward. That is, I think, that should be the biggest learning point for us when it comes to Indian football. That whatever we thought, whatever better we could get, it didn't get better. It has gotten much, much worse. That's one of the realities that we have. And therefore, we need to talk about those things. But again, are those conversations happening? Does people realize that where we've gotten? Again, we spoke earlier today about budgets. We don't know where the money is going, how the AIFF is unable to run on those budgets. Those are our real problems. Those are our real issues. And those are the things that we should be talking about. And that makes me sad when we come and talk about Indian football, that we're not talking about the real issues, the real problems, where we should be going, where we should be pushing the things that Indian football can actually improve over a certain realistic time period of 5, 10, 15 years, because the focus has not been on the things that the focus should have been on. And therefore we've focused on, on saying things, on highlighting things which aren't working. And that to me is Indian football's biggest failure of the last 2.5 years. Sorry. Akash says, share and subscribe. Yes, please do that. Those of you who haven't, please come forward in supporting the channel. 18 likes so far. I think we can do better. 2,253 is the current stand. Thanks a lot. Curious Harry is from Gujarat. Once Gujarat FC comes, a lot of guys will watch it. I hope Rohan doesn't get any ideas, or else my team will be doomed. Let's see, Aditya. Missing the bus, he's blunder. Of course, Murali. What kind of football we can play? Murali, I think that's not a question. That's not a question to me, because we need to be pragmatic. I don't think we have a style of play. Any update on the no confidence against the AIFF president? Ochud, at the moment, nothing. Because it was more talk than actually substance. She also around some people are busy dividing people on the basis of native language. This kind of people should be kept out of a football sport culture, as they don't have the decent idea of unity, teamwork. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm quite sure we'll see empty stadium in Kashi. Akash, even if it is empty, they have to start somewhere. And they're starting with zero. UP football is a big zero at the moment. So let them try and do things. We are very bad identifying villain hero. 100%. No, in UP, CM Cup, Kolkata Derby happened. UP, the crowd was decent. Yeah, but for Inter Kashi to build something, it will take time. Listen, I know it will be controversial, but I think Inter Kashi need to have religious ultras and shift the direction to that way. It will attract a lot of youth and radical guys. I know it sounds bad. I would say they aren't fighting UP elections. I think I don't agree with that. Aditya, focus on the sport. I think wherever you have gotten religion and politics involved, it has not helped. And Kolkata football is a mess because of politics, right? That's the fact. Religion, is not helping in any way. According to Bachchan Bhutia's election affidavit, he has 140 crore worth of net worth. Even Indian football players are crazy rich. Interesting, Hannibal. Didn't know this figure. Sad to say, but Prabhu Patel did more for Indian football than Kalyan Chaubey has. Yeah, Simon. That's factually correct. I know a lot of people will not like to say that, but that's the reality that we are where we live in at the moment, right? Can we say hockey is the sports India earned reputation at international level? They earned reputation, but does it count? Right? It's called the national sport of India. How many people in India care? How many people watched uh, the hockey league? Will Punjab FC play in Punjab anytime soon? Simon, not sure. Inter Kashi are playing in West Bengal. This kind of lack of awareness of the sport in some states has been hurting us badly as a whole unit. But Shivam, they're not playing in Kolkata because they want to play in Kolkata. They wanted to play in Kashi last season. They wanted to play in Lucknow last season. They didn't have the infrastructure. They have been working to get the infrastructure I League ready. Their under 17s are playing now in Kashi. They were stopped in their first game, right, by a match commissioner saying the pitch is not good enough. So that's the reality. And one thing you like to eradicate in India, oh, Murali, there are so many things that I would like to eradicate. Kalyan Chobe made Praful a hero, Praful Patel a hero. No, he didn't. Praful Patel did what was needed, and he kept the system running, and he's done a lot of things for Indian football, which again I won't even talk about, but I know that he did. So therefore, that's the reality. Isn't Mohammedan sporting religious? Karachi is just a place. Hannibal, yes, Mohammedan in some sort of way is religious, and religion can play a part in things, but Kashi, Inter Kashi, of course, also with the club colors and other things can be perceived to be also religious as well. And guess what? The same guys are trying to kick Kalyan now. Yeah. I mean, what does UP has apart from religion? Like, I know I'm sounding stupid, but if they do this, they can attract good crowd. That too fast. Aditya, it's not. Uh, um, I don't know why this thought process of trying to build it. Let them build it from a sporting perspective because these people will come, these people will go. Let them do it from a sporting perspective. Was watching a Nepali podcast. They were shocked that India has so many stadiums. Interesting. Profite, what has he done better compared to Kollan? As I said, they kept the system running. Uh, you know, um, so therefore, yeah, it's something that is there, and Kollan could have done a lot of things, but wasn't able, wasn't capable. I don't know how we want to describe it. Mountain Sporting was internationally communal derby. Hannibal, I know a lot of people will make it to that, but I would always say let it be about football. Politics and sports, how dangerous combination is it? Is there any politics in national football? Yeah, sports and politics go hand in hand, but again, people in international sports also understand that if they allow a sport to grow to a certain level, they will be the people who will gain popularity or gain importance through that. What do you want? Some fake Baba coming in stadium, people do dumb things to filter. Yeah, Blue. Last match, Tifos of building own stadium was presented by one Ultras towards Sanjay Banka. Great. If they did that, great. Consonant paid the price for leaving the Indian national team and going to Northeast United would really ruin his coaching career in India. Heck. He went to East Bengal, and Stephen Constantine has a reputation in international football. If he doesn't get a job in India, he'll get it elsewhere. No. Guys, it's hard to see even Dhanraj Dubey also changing his focus to Europe. Yeah, that's the reality now. Hockey, javelin, badminton, if they push a little bit, they can get gold. Maybe, maybe not. 1 hour and 40 minutes, guys. if you haven't, do leave a like, do leave a share, and also 20 likes, thanks, and subscribe to the channel as well. Certain people we can't replace, like Constantine. Yeah, Constant East Bengal went down together. No, Shivam, I don't think so. Stephen clearly said certain things, during his time, and especially also after he left, what East Bengal was doing wrong. And East Bengal hasn't rectified those things in the last 2 years. That's why East Bengal actually is in the same place that they were. But modern sporting is the thing mainstream content consumers would like to see. Yeah, most probably. To be honest, East Bengal did a very idiotic job by removing Constantine and Sri Cement. Agree, Blue. No progress. What reputation he has? He's now currently in Pakistan. Can you believe Pakistan? What success club he has managed in India? His luck is good. He somehow made it with the Indian national team. Aditya, he was with Pakistan. He left Pakistan. He just did his master's in sports science. So he was studying on the side. He is highly reputational in Africa, where he's worked with national teams. So what are you talking about? What could be the ideal football career for Indian football? Simon, very simply, start somewhere in August and run until May. Imagine fight between Mohun Sporting Interkashi cover into Delhi cover, fight between various groups. Why are we going down that route? Unable. I mean, yeah. Curious, anyone surprised when they never believed you were Indian? Yeah, that's happened. Finally, our fans demand for Bhupendranath Bose Stadium. Yeah, let's see if it happens. Huh? Indian people cannot produce proper team. Your response? There is no response. You just have to say, yeah, that's the reality. That's the reality, right? Can we stop talking about these religious things? Thanks, Blue, for making that point. Yeah, it's bringing us nowhere. See, the point is that these communal angles, these problematic angles, will be brought in by people if you like it or not. But I always say is focus on the football. That's the thing, right? I mean, his career in club football, okay, he was East Bengal doing things. So what about his coaching career in Northeast? He was never Northeast United coach. Aditya, where are you bringing this up? He's only coached the Indian national team and then coached East Bengal. He's twice coached India and he's coached East Bengal. Where does, yeah? I mean, that would attract attention and big sponsors. Hannibal, these kind of things don't attract sponsors. Do you really think that will attract sponsors? Sponsors are not attracted by these kind of things. Same thing happened in Olympics, due population, less medal tally. Yeah, Murali, that's the thing. Anything breaking us will make us weak, be it religion or language. Yeah, looks like it. Fun to see a 2-year-old corporate club trying to make followings through religion. Are they? I don't like the comment, but it can bring the constant watchers even more grew because of controversy. They grew because of controversy, but are they bringing in money because of that? Is anybody putting in money because of that? No, it's not. It is because East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, because of size, they're not bringing in money. There is outside pressure from government people and from Reliance to some extent who's brought in the money. None of the things that you've discussed has brought in any money. This is utterly rubbish. When will AIFF announce probable spot lists? General, I think in post 7th of March. One advice to Indian football players, work hard, focus on your football, and maybe put in the extras that you need. Consider, if people don't know, is a legend in Pakistan, India, Nepal, and South African countries. Yeah, very, very right, Hannibal. That's what I'm saying, that these things, I'm always one. Know your facts when we talk, because if I always say, if I don't know, I don't know. So therefore, if you don't know, you don't start a discussion on things. Curious question. People often criticize him for hygiene and chaos, especially from the first world country response. Murali, you've asked me this question X number of times, and I say it's right. Why RDB group chose Kashi? Because they want to make the experience of holy Kashi and wants to make cult following in northern India. No, Akash, no. See, and this is the fun part, that people like you think you know. And if you don't know, and the guys who formed Intakashi are friends of mine, right? There were reasons for that. Again, it's not for me to disclose, but I know the reasons. And the reasons are not the reasons that you're trying to sell. Or that you, the problem is that you guys think you understand and you know, right? Because you're speculating and you don't know. That is the problem, guys. Don't go into the speculation mode of saying, hey, I know. There are different reasons for that. Okay, maybe I'm wrong this time. He never coached Northeast United. Aditya, he never did. Just check his Wikipedia page. Why does Northeast United, yeah. Will you participate in Chakde Football Podcast? No, I was asked. I wasn't available last time around. If I'm asked, yeah, if I'm available, I'll do it. What's my erotic assumption? And dude, this makes me actually angry that you guys assume. If you don't know, either ask, but don't put it out as if you know things. Yeah? Because that is something, if you don't know, don't know. To me, it's not a problem. I openly say, if I don't know, I don't know. You want to be part of a, come on, disclose it. Say it, old man, since they're your friends, your channel has such huge potential to blow up because of these inside talks. Aditya, this is something that you need to know. Why do people trust me with things? Because they know I will not. I know what I can disclose and cannot disclose. Why are a lot of players friends of mine? Because they know we can have a honest conversation and I will not blow it out. Right? So that is something. That is something that most of these people were content creators, even new age journalists. None of the footballers trust them because if they say something to them, it will be out. This is what trust is. I remember an old friend of mine, very old friend of mine who no longer lives, senior of mine in football journalism, used to always tell me that here in Germany. Used to always tell me that. You need to have the trust of the people. If the people can't trust you to say, and today's world, especially with Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't work. You think people who don't know about football make plans and make sounds? Yeah, of course, Murali. Because people want to have a say in things or want to have a conversation about things and they don't know about these things. That, in my opinion, is the biggest problem in all of these conversations at the end of the day, right? A lot of these, I'm going to throw now the content creators on the bus. A lot of these people who are having conversations don't know anything about what they're talking about. People working in Indian football don't know about Indian football. That is our biggest problem. Why is Indian football where it is? Everyone is at fault, right? Content creation could be a nice thing, but content creation is not a nice thing. It has created new problems where people speculate. I know people love transfer gossip, this, that, everything. So that's the reality. Do you think Delhi FC will be relegated to I-League 2? It's a real possibility. And they'll have to fight. Please do not join Chak the Football Podcast. I cannot see you talking sense to a Ranjit guy. Aditya, let's see. Intakashi is back on track. Yeah, Dr. Honorable. Yeah. Well, we are free to assume from their promo to badge they wants to be OG Saffron Club like OG Mohammedan. My assumptions. See, you're free to assume. But if you don't know, I will call you out. You can say that on every other platform because the others don't know. I do know what is the reason behind it. I will call you out. And this is not the first time I will call you out or other people as well. If you guys say something which is not true, as Aditya did with Stephen. I would say this. Why do I say that about Stephen? Because when Stephen came to India in 2002 to sign for India, Stephen met me in 2001 in London. We actually met down and we spoke about it. And then we got interested and took up the job. I have done things for Indian football that you guys cannot even in your wildest dream think about that I did. If I hadn't done those things, things are bad. Things would be even worse. Then the reality would be India would be losing to San Marino. We at least will not lose to San Marino. Our football at sea is alive, right? Any instance you felt football expert has no clue compared to fan but has better understanding? Can happen, but I don't think the fans have enough information to be able to have the so-called. That's what a lot of content creators, talk about things and don't have a clue. So therefore, yeah, but let them. That's not my concern. See, guys, I can only tell what I want to tell, what I'm open to tell, what I'm free in my opinion to tell, right? And I've made critical stuff. Huh? So that's the reality. Football journalists are banning football and going to cricket. Aditya, they have to survive. It's not just football journalists. I always say, my prime examples, I used to work with Mayanti Langa and then Anand Tyagi, two of the best presenters who have come through the system via football and now in cricket. Those guys, I at least miss those guys presenting football because they're really, really good in their job. And it gave quality to it. To work with boxing project, no, Murali, I haven't. To be honest, the language is a very big. Yesterday in Karnataka, a bus from Maharashtra was then Maharashtra bus from Maharashtra was because of Maratha Kannada. Blue, I've said this in the past. My biggest concern has been over the last 20, 25 years. There's this regionalization in India which has happened. Has not helped India as a nation, right? I've heard stuff about Bengalis while sitting in Mumbai, which was, unbelievable. So the point at the end of the day is that India has massive problems on that front. And India has an internal racism problem, right? India doesn't have to show the fingers to others in regard to racism. India has a racism problem. This example you say is, for example, this whole language thing is a stupid thing. If you're Indian, period. My non-football watching friends saw anime called Blue Lock and they... my non-football friends saw an anime called Blue Lock and they keep asking me that why don't India do the same and make quality players? They don't know. Yeah, sad. It's not that easy. Our enemy is not outside within ourselves. Yeah, Murali, very well said. Aditya says, Akash, I think you count the flaws more than the good things. The bad was made with the theme of Kashi because it was supposed to be in Kashi. It is not supposed to be in Kashi. It will be in Kashi. The problem is with an Inter-Kashi is that the infrastructure in Kashi has not been made available to them, right? Because Inter-Kashi can't themselves say, you know what, I'm building my own stadium. I think those guys would have done it. But the realities of Indian football are that an Inter-Kashi can't go to Kashi and say, you know what, I'm building my own ground. It doesn't happen that way, right? So who are those friends of yours? Why did they create it Inter-Kashi? It was to promote football in Kashi. It was to bring the inter-sponsor. Come on, man, only 60 people. Pinky promise no one will be kicked. Aditya, it doesn't happen that way. Yeah, you can ask me 10,000 times. I will not say it. There are reasons why these guys have done it, and trust is the most important thing in my life. And again, I can share a few stories here and there, but these are things that I've heard that I'm not going to share with you. I know a lot of things that have happened or are happening, will happen, but I will not share them because that is not the way I operate, right? Do you think the coaches who apply India job need to look at drawbacks or else they also talk about attacking football? Murali, if the India job is available, a lot of coaches will apply. What they will look at, what they will not look at, it's always a problem. The AIFF needs to filter the right ones out. Reservation quota and sports, people talking about it. Murali, reservation in general, I think is a problem. I think the best should always go through. But in India, I also do understand that you have to give opportunities for people from the lower strata and other things. I miss the pre and post match shows of the ISL hosted by Anand Tyagi. Also the commentary from John Helm and Andy Pascalidis. Yeah, John and Andy, great voices. Had their own flair. I mean, John was just class. I remember working with him in the I-League for Z Sports many years back. Yeah. My dad played football and hockey in Kashi in 1958 to 62. The info was there, but like most other things, hasn't been maintained. Yeah, which was very well said. You know, right? All right. Imagine I go to a region called Madhya Pradesh and choose a state and decide to create a club there. Tell me why I did it. Aditya, no. You can try. Can we get that American Wednesday and commentator of ISL who shot a lot when a goal was scored? Can we get? What do you mean get? If FIFA watch want to help in a player refused to play due to pollution, is the match stopped due to pollution? Don't know, Murali. Kafa joined bid for FC Asian Cup 31. What do you think? Good. Central Asia has not hosted an Asian Cup. Does the foreign Indian club partnership with Indian football in any way, like there's been so many collabs, clubs, but none has benefited from it? Yeah, there are. Um, I think if I look at my friends at Bangalore United and FC Sevilla, that's something where it's helped both sides actually, not only just the Indian side, but Sevilla as well. But yeah, that's something that there is. Do you like futsal? Yeah, like it, but not that much. What do you think about Odisha FC and Watford collaboration? Aditya, it's come through because of the CEO of the club, but I think they could have done more. Any Indian origin player played top level? Yeah, Murali, we've got a few. Most famous, of course, is Vikash Dovaso, who used to play for France, runners-up in the 2006 World Cup with France, and played for Olympique Lyon, played for AC Milan, and yeah, and of course with Paris Saint-Germain. Do you personally face any racism in India or outside? I face more racism in India than outside because people, sometimes I'm called the German. Sometimes they say, "Oh, you're an outsider. You know what you do, this and that, everything." So yeah, it's happened. See, racism is something which there is no understanding about racism. There's no feeling about it. Yeah, people in India are racist without realizing that they're racist. That's the problem. Me and Germany have been brought up with a certain level of understanding of how, what racism is. But that even that has diluted over the last 20, 30 years. What if Namdari promoters say, where do they play? Raptoro, no idea, no clue where they would play, to be very, very honest, because they would have to find a home. Yeah. And that cannot be their community ground by which they play in at the moment. You said my friends in FC Sevilla. Yes, Aditya, I said that. Quality football, present or early 2000? I find the quality and pass better. Murali, I would say, if I look at overall the quality in the ISL, is better. But the Indian players were better. Not in the early 2000s. I would have said around the 2010s. The Bob Houghton era would have been the best. Racism is the way in which we brought up and brainwashed. Yeah, Murali. Hi, Ogni. Back in September, October, we said on live ISL without foreign CDM impossible. I want to prove it, sir. Shoot winner. Yeah, I have to say that. But the addition to that is, I think, the key to Mohun Bagan's success, and I've said this also in the video earlier today, to me, is Alberto Rodriguez and Tom Aldred are the key factor of that success. I don't, and I would, again, we can't test it out or something and say, listen, one of them is out and play the whole season. But those two guys, uh, you know, so therefore, yeah, that's something which is a reality. So therefore, Apuya stepped up surely, but those two centre backs are the key reasons also why Vishal Keth has not been exposed. True, Instagram, according to some non-Bengalis, Bengali people are full of black magic, etc., etc. They think they are funny, but it's not. It's not same for Momo. Other jokes for Northeast. Yeah, Momo. This. What is this joke? 100% literacy in Kerala and all that kind of stuff. It is. You have to have an understanding, and I think Indians in general don't understand what racism is. Sorry to say that this openly and brutally. Um, so yeah. Please give me your opinion on my club position, raw and unfiltered. What do you want to hear? First of all, I think Odisha FC only exists because Mr. Naveen Patnaik was the chief minister. I think that's the main thing that has to be said, without which Odisha FC would not exist in the way they exist. I think that the club has tried a lot of things to grow to a certain level. Even though Lobera has now failed, I think Lobera has brought in certain things without which it would not have been possible, right? Raj Atwal to come in has helped a lot, but again, I think someone like Raj also is very difficult to grow the club to a certain level, which makes it workable. I think that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest challenge. And if it doesn't work, and Rohan has been very honest about it, that a lot of sponsors actually did sponsor the club because of the backing of the Odisha government, which is no longer there. Yeah. Why major football opening does it damage the pitch? No, in international football, they've got the precautions not to damage. And it happened for everyone I saw in India. Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true, Blue. Austria is very good at the moment. Ralf Rangnick, coach, has developed quite a bit. Is it possible for a club to top I-League table and not want to get promoted? Yes, Sanibal. It's happened in I-League 2. I remember Tata Football Academy won it in 2005 or 2006. Didn't get promoted. Chanmari FC, I remember a while back, played I-League 2 and didn't want to get promoted to the I-League as well. So, yeah. So, realistic in ACL 2, in playing 11, 7, 8 foreigners, can we expect at least 1-2 wins like Mumbai did? Ugni, I don't know. And don't forget, Mumbai did not play with 7, 8 foreigners. And don't forget, Mohun Bagan's track record in Asia is quite dismal. So, Mohun Bagan has to prove itself in Asia. East Bengal has a much better track record. Dempo has a better track record. BFC has a better track record. Even Goa and even Mumbai City have a better track record. So Mohun Bagan at continental level needs to play and not say, oh, you know what, we're not traveling to Iran. Let me not open that Pandora's box, but that's to me, Mohun Bagan has to prove it. Young people hate others, separating Ghotis and non-Ghoti people. You all know what you did in 1977. Please see your own flaws before saying about others. But Aditya, Blue is just pointing out something. And then Ghoti and non-Ghotis and all that stuff again. Yeah. Do you think Albino Golf deserves a national team caller more than any other people? No. Javi Hernandez, how good was he? Javi is one of the best players in the league. I saw him in Punjab versus Jamshedpur FC, and he was the difference. Jamshedpur FC was an average team. He was the difference. Which ISL foreigners do you think can play in top level? No one. So top ISL coach is failing. What happened? Maybe 5 foreigners rule like Lobera and Owen. I think the problem in the ISL is if you've got certain injuries to your key players, you're not going to be able to recover. And to me, that is, I think, the big problem. Mohun Bagan, I've said it multiple times over the last 3-4 months. If Aldred and Alberto get injured, that team would collapse in 5 minutes. That team is not going to survive. They were lucky that didn't happen. I didn't say Bengalis are saying, but that doesn't give any license to others either. It's a general Indian problem pointing out individual stuff doesn't help. Exactly, Blue. Very, very well said. Raju Gaikwad is playing something with something. Yeah, Murali, I signed him at Mumbai City. Saw him before that, Indian junior captain, part of the Indian Arrows. Towards after the first few years, ISL didn't. Any insight talks about why Ahmed Joe left off? Anibal, I've heard a lot of rumors, nothing confirmed, so therefore I can't say anything. Will Lovera be sacked now that he failed to meet expectations? Bubbles, why sack? What's the use of sacking him now? Let the season run out and then you could sack him maybe after the ISL and your local coach takes over, Anthony takes over, but yeah. How good I must think about to J League or Saudi? Murali, these comparisons I've told you multiple times, difficult to me. I'm so mad at Rowan, but I know I can't do anything, can't even say anyone to him, or else it shift the club somewhere else. Aditya, go and say something. But again, you are not in his shoe. You're not in his shoes. For you as a fan, it is very easy to say this, that, everything, and all that stuff. That family is the Sharma family, and their sponsors that are putting in money. They're spending the money. They have to face the situation, not you, not me, not anyone here in the conversation. So therefore, for a fan, it is always easy to say A, B, C, D, and yeah, it's not easy. Hello, Shushmit. Congratulations on winning the ISL League Shield yesterday. Let's see. Sir Molina, rating apart from stars of the team, what's your take? Tactics, game management, dressing room, respect for players. See, Ogni, he has one advantage. As I said, no injuries to key players who would have derailed the system. The injuries to the attackers weren't a problem because he had 4 attacking players as an option. If he had injuries to Aldred and to Rodriguez at the same time, who knows what could have happened. He's very conservative in his approach. You saw that in his gameplay. But again, his job was to win the title, and he won the title. So therefore, now to talk, I didn't like his tactics because I saw matches. I saw him against Punjab FC. That's Punjab FC's match to win. But Punjab FC lose 3-0 in the end, right? So there's multiple of these matches. So therefore, also game luck is a factor. Quality is there. Individual brilliance. Individual brilliance won multiple of these games for Mohun Bagan. And therefore, Mohun Bagan is where it is. What do you think about Ranjit? Like, is a good or bad person? Also, Joe, people said there was 2 sides in this Joe leaving quiet. I'm not going to comment on Ranjit because better not to. And on Jahu, I don't know what happened. So therefore, it is very difficult to judge it. As TD in Spanish FA 2018-2022, what exactly was Romania? What decision to accept it? Technical director works on the future outlook of the federation and the future of development of football. That's what his job is. People who said Qatar should not host World Cup due to weather and human rights, do you think CPA is raising human issues? Do you think it's an outside domain? Murali, nobody cares. It's all about money. We raising human rights. The German team did it. What did happen? Nothing happened. What did happen? Nothing happened. Will Club World Cup be bigger than UCL in the future? Good question, Babalu's animation. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is. It could have the potential, but for that, it needs to be a success in the summer. But I think with it happening only over every 4 years, there's going to be a different buzz around it because the Champions League happens every year. It's like the World Cup coming every 4 years has a different buzz. Which is the best England team? You mean club or you mean national team? If you mean national team, most probably 1966, which won the World Cup. 11 individual brilliant players make a brilliant team. Shushmit, I don't have 11 brilliant players. No team in India has 11 brilliant players. They have a few, and that's more than enough. Mohun Bagan Supergiant could have just registered their spare foreigner if defenders got injured. No, Bavalos, that's something that people have been saying. If a player is only out for a few matches, you can't do that. No? You would have to be out for the season. So could have been a backup, but but you don't know if it would have worked. A lot of people are forgetting at the start of the season when Aldred and Alberto weren't settled, people were already questioning things, right? After 2-3 matches, wasn't there discussion that, does Molina have a future? This is how football can change. Results are at the end of the day a crucial factor in the way that teams develop. And in that way, Molina has gotten the results again. And one has to give him credit for that. Not going to comment on Ranjit because who knows, he might sue you too. I feel a guy like him can't handle your aura. No, I don't care what he thinks. I've said what I've said. Let him do what he wants to do, but it makes no sense. Brazil gone down over the years. At the moment, it looks like when Italy failed to qualify European League. Morally, it happens, right? These things, even big teams fail for qualify for tournaments. Mohun may be as dominant as they can be in the ISL, but they aren't near the level. Asia demand, we need to upgrade the foreign department, increase the Indian depth. How are you going to increase the depth of the Indians? Change in Mohun Bagan, super and senior team, you want to see, sir, ideally what should be the step players, intake, foreigners, backups. Also. Ogni, I still think that Mohun Bagan needs a defensive midfielder. I think that would, and that would be one thing that I would look at. And backups, of course. The bench sometimes. Shushmit and I were talking about it. I think a few weeks ago. Was not good enough, and I think that is why Molina actually trusted the players he trusted. Nuno was to go to Mohun Sporting. I highly doubt how much of a clutch player he would have been given how Mohun Sporting has done. Fan meetup when I don't know. People don't care how good are they. Almost scared to upset. Really good team in the I-League, but have been inconsistent over the last 2-3 years. La Liga and Bundesliga, any difference? Yes, of course. Different kind of football, different kind of stadium atmospheres, different kind of football cultures. It's Spanish and it's German. The next step for Mohun is to do something in the Asian competition. The real test will be there. Mac, I don't have, expectations from any Indian club in nation level. Watching Mumbai City FC finishing 7th because of poor goal difference is the only thing left to see this season. I hope not, Rachit. Let's see what happens. I have a plan. We need to get U13 players, tie up in long contracts, send them outside India, no division, and get them back after they spend 3-4 years there. Shushmi, not allowed by FIFA rules. And you can't actually do long-term contracts with minors. That's another thing. Your top 5 for Mohun this season. Top 5 who? Aldred, Alberto, Apuya, McLaren, and then it's a pick. It could be 2 or 3 players. Best stadium in the world. Wow, Murali, I've not been to all stadiums, so therefore, yeah. Opinion on Anthony May, Manchester United, the graveyard players. Yeah, quality players in the Netherlands. I don't know. Yeah, stupid red card yesterday. Yeah. Sushmit, if it was so easy, then every club in the world would do it. It is not so easy. What do you think? Mohun Bagan could use Indian defensive midfield and centre back as such. Could probably be. Yeah, but those guys, I don't know. I think I'll ask Professor Kalinga to do a collab with you. It would be great. Thanks, Aditya. I just hope Toral will be able to score at least 1 goal this season. Rachit, I hope so as well, because I have a feeling that if that guy gets a goal, then suddenly, maybe the mentality changes. Because if you look at the way he plays, the twists and turns, he's actually one of the best, maybe the best actually player in this league, but he's not been able to do something. And let's see what happens. Guys, I'll slowly come to an end. 2 hours and 15 minutes. and 7:30 here in this part of the world. As I always like to say, like, share, and subscribe. Do follow the other short videos as well, as I say. Keep on talking about Indian football. I think that's very, very important, that we need to keep up the Indian football flag as well. And I'll be back tomorrow night with another live. And let's see the ISL top 6 race, what happens. See you. Good night.